Good morning.
Good morning.
We were at the off-grid property this morning. We have the vet coming to do a few different things to the calves we have. Harriet, which is Azalea's calf, which is going to be a future milk cow. She is half Jersey, half Highland cattle. We want to keep her for a milking cow. Azalea is A2A2, and then Country, our Highland cattle. Bull is also A2A2. So that means she is going to be A2A2, and she's going to make some delicious milk. But that being said, her being a Highland cattle cross, she has horns growing. And where we're going to be keeping her as a milk cow, we don't want her to have horns for our safety, for her safety, and also for Azalea's safety. Azalea doesn't have horns, so if they're playing and Harriet knows it or doesn't know it at first, even just being a calf, she can end up hurting her mother, or while she's nursing, she could poke her mother and hurt her. And then with us, if she wants to be rough, she could hurt us, whether she means to or not. So since she's going to be a milk cow, we're going to be handling her all the time, we feel like we should get her dehorned, and then the vets recommended that as well.
Yeah, the vets definitely recommended it because I'm like, oh, do we do it? Do we not? And then they're like, for sure, if you're keeping her for a milk cow, you definitely should. She also does have the Jersey trait, so that means she does a little headbutting and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Jerseys like to kind of knock you around with their head. Not like anything like mean. They just kind of use their head a lot, like just moving it around. I don't know why. It's a Jersey trait, they say. So she has that too, just like her mother. So we don't need to be having horns with all that going on. Then while they're up here, we're also going to tag the calf, so that way we know who is who, because Reba and Black Beauty's calf kind of look the same. So it'll be nice to have them tagged so we can look at the tags and see who is who.
Right. Plus, we're also going to be growing our beef herd, so we want to have all those so we can keep good records and everything.
So they're all going to get some ear piercing today. Harriet's got to stay inside. You getting sleepy, Harriet?
Okay. You're gonna be sleeping in a minute and not even gonna know what's happening.
Go get your baby.
Keep going. Come on. Go.
All back with their mamas and happy.
What do you think about everything, Brutus? Huh?
When we had Joel Salatin up looking at the 150-year-old farm that we just bought, we were talking to him about building pastures and building soil health and just different diversities and the best way to do it. And one of the things he was saying is the best way to do it is to let your pastures grow up and go by. And then you get these really tall grasses. They all go to seed, like this right here. This has gone to seed. So now you have seeds to replant. But not only that, he was saying for soil health, it's really good to get a lot of cover like this, and it helps the soil start growing better. There's just different things. He said like the voles end up coming. The voles are good because they'll put holes in and they'll help aerate and help water get into the soil. And then you're just getting a big different diversity of all these different weeds and grasses and seeds going. So then when you come in and mow, you're blowing down more of the seeds, and also at the same time, you're actually getting your soil health better. And the reason you have different kinds of grasses growing and grasses that you don't want isn't because the seeds are there, because the seeds are always there. When the soil condition is right for the good grasses, those will grow. So which is kind of cool to know. So now we have like orchard grasses, we have Timothy grass, we have a bunch of clover. So we have clover down here that's gone to seed. So when we're mowing, we're going to be reseeding the clover. And then also you're getting different varieties of grasses going. Your undergrasses are going to be like your warm season grasses that are coming up. So he looks really tall and shaggy and not very nice, but we're doing it for a reason. We want to build good, healthy soil and good pastures. Yes, we plan on selling this property sometime once we're all moved over to the new farm, but we want to be able to pass on some good pasture land, whether they use it for pasture or not. We want to be able to pass that on for two reasons, because this is what we like to do. We like to build pastures and soil, and we're also learning and gaining experience. So we want to do the best we can here for whoever buys this place in the future, but also as we're doing it, we're learning here, and that knowledge that we're learning here, we're gonna be able to bring with us to the new farm or wherever else we go. So yeah, just seeing all the different grasshoppers and stuff going around. It's kind of cool to see that. The birds and the butterflies love this. This is really good for wildlife, for critters. You gotta have more animals in here. They're gonna be eating off of it. So it's not pretty to our eyesight if you're thinking about looking at a lawn, but it is cool for all of the wildlife, and it's really cool to watch all the butterflies fly around here and the birds fly in here getting food. So yeah, we're gonna do some mowing today. I gotta fix the Kubota. It has like crush washers on it that hold the blades on, and one of the crush washers, I mean, we've had this Kubota for, I was trying to figure it out the other day. I think this Kubota might almost be 20 years old, and the bolt is tight, but the blade is spinning. So I got a new washer. The washer is like bold, so it like crushes it. So I think that crush washer is just kind of like giving out. So we got to take that off, re-tighten that up, because two blades are spinning and cutting. This one spins, but if it hits something heavy, the blade just spins around and around and around, and it doesn't cut. So yeah, we're gonna cut some of the grass. We're not gonna cut all of it, because I'm kind of curious to cut it and see what it looks like and kind of how it's maturing and how it's helping the soils build and what we'll be getting better for grasses in the future. I hope that makes sense. So if I take all of this right here, I don't have anything to compare it to right here. I have to compare it to the other side, but that might be different soil over there. So I'm gonna take more of this to see how it does. It's like every time we've been mowing, I've been like changing my mowing pattern up. Like I took more here last time, and this is really regrowing good. I'm seeing clover in it, I'm seeing Timothy in it and stuff like that, and it's getting really thicker. But the other weird thing is when you're doing this right now, doing the grass this way, we're establishing better soil. We're getting more seed heads in, but we're not going to get a thick grass. If you want to have a thick grass, like a thick pasture, just like with your lawn, you need to mow it more often, and then it fills in more. So by doing this, we're helping the soil. And then once the soil is good and the more we mow it, the thicker it'll get. So it's kind of like different processes. It's going to take years to establish everything. So this is like the first one. Right now, basically, you think about it, we're growing our seed bank. We have orchard grass seeds out there, Timothy, clover. So this is our seed bank. So when the soil is healthy, we already have the seeds established in the ground to start germinating. And we won't have to buy seeds again. So that's just, I don't know, really encouraging and exciting to see. So let's work on the Kubota, and then we can start cleaning up. And then we'll show you guys all of the calves and all the animals and see how they are doing. Then we also have to do some harvesting of our meat birds. We got the batch of meat birds over there that are ready to go in the freezer. It's a good and a bad day. It's their one bad day. It's not the best day of work to be doing, but it tastes delicious the next day. No, I did not buy a new truck or a dump truck. My truck is in the shop. My buddy has let me borrow his truck while my truck is in the shop. Hopefully that'll be fixed soon, and then we can have it back. It is nice having a dump truck, but I also miss my truck too. You know how that is. We also have a new tool to try out while we are harvesting this time. So our friend Jason over at Solar Land went to the APAPA conference, American Pasture Poultry Association or something like that. They were doing a demonstration on cutting up meat birds, and they were cutting up and piecing out the meat birds afterwards. And they use a cone to set the meat bird on, or the chicken carcass on basically, and then they're able to pot it out, and you don't have to hold it with your hands. So I bought a couple of those to try out. So we're gonna try those out tomorrow and see how it is. The hardest part for us is trying to hold the carcass while you're cutting it up. It kind of like flops around your hand. So this cone is supposed to make it so it just sits there, and then you just with your knife. That's how they show it. We're gonna find out how it really does. So this blade is just free spinning. See, that's moving, and the pulley's not. So there's a crush washer right here that I think is just seen better days. It's probably made out of like a spring metal. And yeah, it needs to get replaced. I'm not sure how good it'll show up, but this is the crush washer that I call it. What does Kubota call it? Cone washer. Right here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it cones outwards. So when you're tightening it up, it kind of puts pressure on it. It keeps pressure on the blade. I'm thinking that this must be kind of like worn out, and that must have went in, because you only got so much room before your bolt bottoms out. So this makes it so it'll hold it. So I'm thinking this is the culprit. I usually keep 1 or 2 around because we've had this happen before. At least break it free. There we go. There we go. And we can undo this. All right, time to put the new washer on. All right, that's not going anywhere. I like it. All right, that should fix it. Let's mow and see how we do. I don't know if you guys can see the barn swallows, but the barn swallows flying around here a ton. They're actually really fun to watch. It's cool to see them. They eat a lot of bugs too, which helps. So trying to establish pasture from raw land, it takes some work, especially when you're not using any fertilizer. So I'm really happy with our outcome here and how everything is looking. And every year it gets better and better. I think the barn swallows are loving all the horse flies I'm stirring up. I think that's what they're coming over here to eat. They were giving me a pretty cool show while I was mowing, so I'll take it. They ended up giving Harriet a small nerve blocker, so she's been down here just chilling out for a little while. She's got some little bling bling silver on her head.
And she got a haircut.
Yeah, she's got a haircut and a little bling bling where they did a little burning. Right, Harriet? We'll let you out with your mama, or you let your mama in with you again now? So they shave the hair, they heat up, and they burn right around where the horn's gonna be. They say the horn grows from like the skin out. So if they burn that off, it won't regrow. So that's what they did to Harriet. So this way she won't have horns. This way she won't have horns. It won't bother us or her mom. So she's actually doing really good. She's been down here for a couple of hours, just napping and sleeping off. You've been keeping an eye on Harriet?
I'm gonna let Mom come see you today. All right, we're just gonna let you guys have the barnyard and go in and out if you want, okay?
You want to see your baby? There's your baby.
Aww. She's a big baby, isn't she? She's hungry. So still, Mom.
That is the first time Azalea and Harriet have been separated from each other. You hungry there, Harriet?
I think so.
Yep. All right, we got our first load of chicken supplies. Kind of look like the Beverly Hillbillies moving. We got our stainless steel tables, our heavy duty extension cord, our propane burner. We got a bunch of buckets and totes. And then we got our pot. So this is when we heat shrink the bags. We got to do it in a boiling pot of hot water. Our electric scalder. We still have one more load to get set up. We need to get our plucker, and then we need to get our cones.
Oh, and coolers.
And coolers.
The 3 loads. I do usually set up into the greenhouse room, what we call the greenhouse room, but there's a lot of stuff in there and it's just going to be a whole nother process. We only have, what, 35 chickens?
We'll find out better tomorrow morning when I catch them, but I think it's only like 35 chickens. Normally we process 75 chickens twice a year. This year we canceled our second batch, and our first batch we got 75 in, and a lot of them ended up dying like within the first few days because they were in the mail for too long. So about 35 we have right now. So tomorrow will be a lot quicker of a processing day for us. So that part we don't mind.
Yeah, so I figured we're not going to go through all that hassle of just getting that room ready. We're just going to do everything outside. We have stainless steel tables. I think we did everything outside when we did our turkeys last year. Just keep it all simple outside, and that's less cleanup in that area.
One thing I always tell people and recommend getting is a heavy duty extension cord. If we can find this one again, I'll list it on our Amazon page. When you're running a chicken plucker, if you have an extension cord, it's got to be the super duty one. Otherwise, your plucker will trip. I don't know what gauge wire this is. This is a 10 gauge wire. So it's a really heavy duty extension cord. Works good. It's got the 3 plugs on the end so we can plug in our plucker and our scalder all to the same extension cord.
So we did end up canceling our second batch this year because we were working on the purchase of the farm, and if that did go through, which it did, which we're very grateful for, we were like, do we really want to do all these meat birds? So we still do have a small freezer with whole chickens left over from last year's harvest, and then this year I think I'm going to piece out my chickens. So if there's only 35 chickens, piece them out.
Last year we picked up these folding stainless steel tables. They work awesome. We got the ones that were countertop height and not table height. So that way you're not bending over when you're cutting everything up, which makes it a lot nicer on the old back. So one of the best investments you can make if you're going to be harvesting your own chickens is a plucker or to rent one. It saves you so much time versus hand plucking, and the bird actually comes out looking nice and clean. It's like putting it through a wash machine. It takes all the feathers off, and then the carcass comes out looking nice and clean like you'd get it from the store. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, you're all tangled.
There we go. And no, all this equipment we did not buy at once. We bought it over the years, a little bit at a time. This plucker last year we had to replace the fingers because they're rubber. They just dry rot and crack. So we've had that for a very long time. So this is how we lay it out. We have our cones, then we scald, and then we pluck, and then we put them on the eviscerating tables. Everything gets eviscerated. We'll go get our coolers, get them cleaned out. The coolers get filled up with ice cold water and ice, and then we let them sit in the ice bath for a couple of hours. And then after that we bag them up. We'll show you the whole process. We won't show any of the stuff that most people don't like to see, but we'll show the main process of how it works.
I 100%, if this is something that you want to do, get the things you need, like the plucker and all that stuff. Game changer for sure. If you have a husband and wife and one of you is not really on board, that's going to help them, because we did do it. Or maybe you just do it without any of these things first, and then you will go get yourself a plucker, because we did. It changed everything. It made the process so much better, and you just know what it felt like before, so you're like, this is awesome.
All right, so these are the cones for processing and cutting up your birds into pieces. I don't know if I got to make like a piece of wood that goes underneath because this table is hollow, or if just tightening it up to the table is going to be good. Let's see how it works.
This is what he bought me one day, and I was so excited.
Nope. So if you look down here, I'm bottomed out of my threads and I'm still a ½ inch from the tabletop. So I think I'm gonna make a piece that's 1.5 inches thick by 4 inches, and it'll fill this whole area and it'll give it just some more rigidity. So when I am tightened up, I'm not just putting pressure on one little spot since it's a thin table. All right, so I got a piece of 2x4. Fits in that little compartment nicely. And then
Tighten, tighten, tighten.
yep. All right, we're there now. That'll work perfect.
What are you doing, Arlo? I hunted.
Good early morning. I don't know if you can hear all the birds or not. But it's nice and early this morning. I need to get the water scalder filled up with water so it can get up to water temperature so it is nice and hot for scalding. This is one of the first things you'll want to do, because if you forget to do it, it pushes off your processing day until it is up to temperature. I love listening to all the birds. Hope you guys can hear those. It is 49 degrees out this morning. I have a sweatshirt on and I'm still a little chilly. It was a perfect night last night for a campfire. S'mores, the trick is dark chocolate peanut butter cups. They are amazing with marshmallow and graham cracker. So good. That's what we were doing last night. It was cooled off nicely. It was in the 60s, so perfect night for a campfire. Might be the same way again tonight, because it's going to cool off again. All right, enough chit-chatting. Let's get this water filled up. I got to make sure that this is closed. There's a drain on the bottom. I've done that before. I filled it up. I've had it all the way up to temp, come back out a couple of hours later, and the water is drained out because I didn't shut that. Oh, frustrating. So I install an outdoor hot water spigot, and that is for harvesting days. It is nice to have warm water outside. That's what the water is coming out right now, and we have it set for 148. That is the sweet spot. 148 degrees is where we have it set. That is the sweet spot for plucking. It makes the feathers come out really easy. You don't want to go too cold, because if you do, the feathers don't pull out easy. And if you go too hot, you'll end up breaking the skin and it makes a huge mess. So we have found for us 148 is perfect. I think sometimes it also depends on your elevation of where you are. So I think between like 145 and 150, we like 148. It works so good. Close that up, let it finish heating up. Let's make sure. All right, that is not leaking, so we are good there. All right, now we gotta go get the meat birds and put them and get them ready to bring them up above. Brr, it's chilly this morning. I'm loving it. Just, it's cold. I love this weather. Better shut the AC off. We don't need that right now. I do just look at that beautiful sunrise with the fog. What a majestic morning. You know what we need to know? We need to drink some coffee while we're looking at that sunrise. It's beautiful. It's going to get warm. It's going to burn off all that fog. That's what that's telling me. So as cold as we are right now, it's not going to stay that way. It's going to be 80 today, which is kind of crazy to think. 49 right now, and it's going to be 80. I like the 49. I'm just texting the boys in the Carolinas, letting them know how nice and cold it is here this morning. At least we can watch that sunrise as we wrangle chickens. All right, we ended up with 40 meat birds. Should say 41. There's one little tiny one back here. One little tiny one right there. He's a meat bird. We're gonna let him go and see how big he can get because he's tiny, and the rest of them are all egg layers. Those are the ones that Gina's sister hatched for us. They are red stars bred with a Americana rooster. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of chickens they make and how many roosters we get out of there too. That'll end up making a really nice workflow for us. We just go boom, 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 and then onto the tables. I'll show you guys that process as well. It's nice having everything all set up close together, so when you're working, you just kind of like going nice and clean and through the motions. You're not having to walk a whole bunch of steps. It makes it go a lot smoother. And now, after today, we'll have one less chore to do on the homestead. Good morning, boys. Reba, Black Beauty. 2502 is Reba's calf, and 2503 is Black Beauty's calf. Is that some good hay? Next weekend, who knows? It could be rainy, it could be 100 degrees.
And then right now, like I don't think, oh, take a whole chicken out. So now you have a piece of chicken.
Well, and I think that's probably why they sell better. Is when you. Okay, here I think I just figured a secret.
Harvesting day is always a good day, a long day, a tiring day, but it is good and rewarding because at the end of the day, you know you have your freezers full of meat. We got all of our 40 birds processed and parted up into pieces. We didn't keep one single one of them whole. We have some left over still from last year that are whole. I want to thank our friend Nick for coming over and giving us a hand. That was a ton of help. I did not get to try to use the cones at all. Gina and Nick were awesome on cutting up everything, so they just went to town cutting everything up. I supplied them with all of the chicken, and then I was cleaning up all of the mess, because that's usually one of the worst parts, is when you're done harvesting, you got to clean up everything and put everything away. So I was able to do all that, so it feels good to have that done. It was a perfect way to end off the night with making s'mores. If you've never tried making s'mores with Unreal brand dark chocolate, Reese's peanut butter cups, or just peanut butter cups, so good. They are not very sweet. They're dark chocolate, and we didn't use like the regular jet marshmallows. It was more of an organic one, and they weren't that sweet, so they were delicious. I recommend trying making a dark chocolate peanut butter cup s'more. They are so good. Good way to end off harvesting day. So this is where we're going to end this video. Thanks for coming along on our homesteading journey. You guys are a huge blessing to us in our homestead and the new farmhouse. We want to thank you for following along on our journey. We'll see you right back here in the next video. Bye.